I was already doing the deck tech, but Mockingbird is great in this archetype. Copying Guide of Souls, copying Ocelot Pride, copying Amped Raptor, copying Ajani, copying Ranger-Captain, and Ranger-Captain for Mockingbird is great. Great way to overpower decks. Some other blue cards I'm interested in testing in the archetype, especially Pippin, a card that I've always really, really liked Pippin. And there just have been very, very few shells to try it in. And when I have played Pippin in the past, it's been pretty good. Mockingbird is also like, I love that the card is constructed playable too, because it's just such a perfect name for what it does. Okay, so if you don't know, Mockingbird is a 1-mana blue 1/1 flyer that can enter as a with X also in the casting cost, and can enter as a copy of any creature on the battlefield with mana value less than or equal to the amount of mana spent on Mockingbird. So a lot of people I think that this card is 2 mana to copy a 1-drop, 3 mana to copy a 2-drop. No, it is 1 mana to copy any 1-drop on the field, your opponent's creatures included, 2 mana to copy any 2-drop, 3 mana to copy any 3-drop, etc. And it also has flying. So Mockingbird is now like the reason to be Jeskai over any other build. But if we're working on Jeskai as an archetype, which again is something I really want to, like look at this hand. We can go Guide of Souls into 2 Prides because of the Mockingbird. This is an archetype I really want to work on, and because this is an archetype I really want to work on, it's important that we're testing in other blue cards. Does that make sense? I think we still lead on the Guide of Souls. Is my Moto account linked to my Twitch channel? Are you setting at the beginning of my stream? I guess the only link would be the record tracker. But it's not these 2 accounts are not linked in any way besides the record tracker. Like there's no way to like connect your Twitch account to Magic Online. I'm pretty scared of Wrath the Sky, so I'm going to play Ajani instead of double these. Maybe I should have got the Aether Hub, because maybe I could go Surveil. I wouldn't mind just trying blue-white energy, even without the red. I understand Raptor is strong, kind of conflicts with the bird. Could even consider Esper energy, honestly. You could, yeah. You could, for sure. Yeah, we've built blue-white. I think this build is more promising than the Port Mage build we had. I agree, you could build just blue-white. Gotta play Counterspell. Oh, that's a bit telegraphed. They graveyard a Phlage. Dude, our opponent's surveils have been so good graveyarding Atraxes and Phlages today. Does Mockingbird need a target on the field to resolve? So just like all clones, it enters as a copy, so it doesn't target, but the target could be removed before it comes down. So okay, they can escape Phlage next turn. But maybe I could Mockingbird the Phlage. I guess it would just die. We'll probably just have to static prison it. Mockingbird on Ajani cannot be flipped. Right, yeah, so if you Mockingbird Ajani is a good play, but when you Mockingbird Ajani, you want to keep the old Ajani so that you can flip it. Well, maybe if we're lucky enough to... Oh, sorry. Guess I'm still going to do this, but I did tap wrong. But I was going to say maybe if we're lucky enough to surveil Phlage into the yard, we'll have a fighting chance here. Also, my opponent doesn't have another red or white mana right now to escape this Phlage. There's a red or white mana to escape the Phlage. We do have a static prison. They're just playing a Teferi this turn. And they're plussing because they have instant speed Wrath the Skies on 1. Why Pippin over Giver of Runes? It's a better card, would be the simple reason. But also, I just went on this long rant about how it is important in this archetype to be testing blue cards, because the blue splash is now pretty reasonable. Can't really play this turn. The blue splash is now reasonable because of Mockingbird, so we need to be looking at other interesting blue cards that are under-tested. Pippin, I think, is pretty dang good. I thought about playing some Unsettled Mariners, too. But Pippin is much better. It has Vigilance. It has Ward 1. It attacks and does the protection thing. This card is very strong. Ward 1 is just crazy. Did I try the blue-white shell first? We played a little bit of it with Dingo. I think the Jeskai build is more interesting at the moment. We could also play some more of that one. Draws a card with the Teferi. Yeah, Wrath is pretty pushed. Pretty pushed. Alright, let me see if I surveil my own Phlage into the yard. Well, because I mistapped earlier, I can't cast it. Right, let's go to game 2. Certainly a scary matchup. Hearse is kind of weird in the matchup where obviously you want to fight their Phlages, but the problem with trying to Hearse the Phlage is you're just playing a little bit too much into Wrath the Sky, although it is kind of good against Verdict. I think I also just want to play 2 Static Prison, so we'll bring him in. Do you think Helga or Glarb from the news set will make a 4-color better deck in the current meta? Okay, so I do kind of like really don't... I don't think Glarb is very good. I need to reread it. It's like Sultai, 2/4 Death Touch. Look at the top card, play lands from the top, spells mana value 4 from the top, tap Surveil 2. Maybe Glarb is better than I think. I'm not a big lover of Glarb. Helga is an interesting tool for 4-color. I don't really like the 4-color or playing the 4-color archetype very much is kind of my issue, and so I don't know. I don't know how much I'll really be working on it because it's just again not an archetype I love to play. So I want to do this because I want to play Amped Raptor on turn 2, and I want to still get an extra token despite having played Amped Raptor turn 2. Then maybe we're going to go Ajani and then try to flip Ajani next turn. We'll see. Okay, lots of energy. I do think yes, there is something to that, the thought of that shell. Okay, so notably my opponent can't Wrath Disguise me next turn. Although it does. I guess we'll just attack first. But my plan is to go attack with everything. Ajani, Galvanic Discharge the cat token, the 1/1, and then blast them for a ton of damage. I mean, I guess if I played this pre-combat, then not as weak to this because we could jump something with Guide of Souls. Doesn't matter that much. It matters 2 damage worth, I guess. They consider Freestyle Lookout for Lens yes, but yes and no. Like I've been working on Freestyle Lookout with these cards. Freestyle Lookout is not an aggro card. It's not a card I think you can play in that archetype. Okay. Do you have a second subtlety? You want to kill the 1/1 cat once you have bigger cats, but also because the copies care about cards that entered this turn. So if we kill this cat, we don't get a copy of it. Not the biggest deal because they're probably just going to die to the 0. Oh, it looks like I miscounted actually. They go to 1. Or did I miscount? Yeah, I did miscount. Okay. So we get to copy these also. And if our opponent has Wrath Disguise, they have to have basic planes to cast Wrath Disguise here. No basic planes for our opponent. Go to game 3. All the draw for game 3 is going to be tougher for Scherzies. If I thought about the best ways to target the Prowess Mouse, Scale Up, Blossoming Defense, Rancor. The best ways are just Mutagen Growth and Lava Dart, I think. Like, it's nice that you can just, like, Lava Dart your own thing and just cantrip, like, 1/2 of the Lava Dart, and you also just have 4 Mutagenic Growths, and That's kind of enough. That's kind of enough. You don't really need more. But you could play more. Okay, not really a hand we can mulligan on the draw against Jeskai. Wonder if Helga would be better with Karuga. Helga is pretty good with Karuga. Can definitely build the deck that way. Helga also works with Scion of Draco, which works with Karuga. Yeah, maybe that is the better direction to go in. I at least like the sound of it. Right, Guide Pride. Is Flame Slash in the side instead of Bolt for Nadu? It's more so in the sideboard instead of Bolts for Sun Cleanser than it is Nadu. But you would also bring it in against Nadu decks. The graveyard, there's Xander's Lounge. I just noticed that they graveyarded Wrath the Skies. Alright, let me Phlage pre-combat. I want the energy to jump something with the Guide of Souls. And of course, they don't really want to counter this. Drawing this card is super important to winning this matchup, so I'm glad that we have drawn this card. Okay, now we're a lot better against Wrath the Skies next turn, because we're going to just have a Phlage in play. Would have been nice to like draw a Ranger-Captain at some point too. I guess we still could. There's a ring. Okay, hopefully we can find a Ranger-Captain off these. Sacking a Ranger-Captain would be pretty game-winning. We're looking some more. Pippin. So they can go land Wrath the Skies X equals 3, which is probably a loss. I'm gonna go ahead and just like pump this a lot to play around Galvanic Discharge a bit more, but let's hope for the best. Attack with Phlage and target Phlage. It doesn't do anything. Oh, sorry, I gained 3, so I do gain 3. Probably not very relevant, but would have been right, yes. Well, bro, with the 36, happy 3 years. Welcome back. Appreciate you. All right. Did not find a Ranger-Captain. Go, Phlage, go. Down to 8. They have a Celestial Purge. Brutal. So, okay. First we have the Graveyard of Phlage. That's going to be very important here. Okay. Step 1. Well, maybe I should have just drawn it. I don't know. The upside of like drawing another like nice relevant spell is pretty dang high. I'm just gonna save this discharge to maybe protect my Ajani. Ring of Wrath is just so tough for any creature deck to overcome. Yeah, and this is also why, like, you know, people who are dooming and glooming about Energy being the best deck post Nadu ban, it's just like there's a lot of stuff like this that contains it for whatever that's worth. Yeah, if we had found a Ranger-Captain, we probably can't lose this game. Didn't find one all match, which feels kind of bad. They play 4 Wrathless Guys in a Verdict. A lot of times that is the split. Sometimes it's 3-1. Sometimes it's 3-2. That is, I think, usually the split. They discard a Phlage. Okay, GG. I give up. Keep this one on the draw. Misty for Commercial District. This is our first league with a deck study. Keep a card on top. Pepsi with the 2 months. Appreciate you. Welcome back. Okay, up against Eldrazi variant here. Graveyard of Mockingbird. Pippin time. Thank you, Pepsi, for the 2 months. These energy decks could play Invasion of Gobakhan as a proactive way to delay the ring and answer for 1 Wrath. It's not even like a very good answer because they can just like spin 2 energy instead of the X. I don't know. We have Ranger-Captain to like sack and delay this stuff for a turn. A lot of times that matters a lot. Winning the die roll is really important too. Okay, opponent's gonna get to put a land into their hand off this Rumble. Takes the Cavern. Tap Stomping Ground. So if I Static Prison this Talisman, I don't have a lot of extra energy, and they can still through the breach next turn anyways. Should I just copy the cat with the Mockingbird? I think that makes a bit more sense than doing something else, because then I have the ability to flip the Ajani by playing this Ajani with like a bunch of cats to like plus on Steez the 39. I think he'll come back. And we'll want to Static Prison like the ring next turn if they have the ring next turn. Although they didn't have it this turn. Thank you for being my second monitor doing work all these months. Of course, Steez. That's what I'm here for. Okay, they have found a copy of the ring. So I'll graveyard this Arid Mesa. Static Prison the ring. Legend Rule Ajani. Plus the Ajani. Pass back. I'm going to play as an Eldrazi Temple. Maybe a World Breaker, maybe a Devourer here, maybe a Mycospawn. Have you ever included Scheming Fence? I have played Scheming Fence. The card is okay. It's more so a card you want to play against like Jeskai than anything else. Okay, so I can jump something if I play the Guide of Souls. Jumping something is less relevant with this World Breaker in play. Well, now I can go Static Prison on the World Breaker. So Static Prison, World Breaker, and then if I plus here, we have 12 damage coming in. 15 if we like kill this spawn. Oh, sorry, I'm trying to think about Guide of Souls first. So assuming I hold the Guide of Souls and just treat this as a burn spell for next turn. Just gonna block. Is Ultimating Ajani ever correct? It gets rid of one of their artifacts and one of the creatures. Seems not it. They don't have protection from everything. $5 a month, the rest of your life. Right. Seems like I should Static Prison the World Breaker, Phlage the spawn token, plus the Ajani. Maybe I should target them And it's one less damage. No, I'll check out the Silent Bond. I can block Ulamog with Pippin. Although, I might have more issues with the Ulamog. This is 12 plus 2. 14. They have a Dismember. So they're 3. They can't tap the ring, then tap the ring, and then just take 3 from it, which is nice. But they can, you know, kill me maybe. If they Ulamog, I have to block with the Pippin and then sack 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, or something like that. Looking okay. Plus Ajani, see if they jump with World Breaker. If they do, we can Phlage it. Just, you get in for so much less damage with that line. Seems pretty wrong. Casting Ancient Stirrings. Was it Ajani 0, 2 more damage? Where on this battlefield do you see a red permanent for Ajani? Okay, up a game against Through the Breach. Do you think I want to bring in the White Orchid Phantoms or the Galvanic Discharges? I don't really want this Teferi either. Harsh Mentor is kind of weird against the ring. It's not like really very good. Maybe the Tight Shaper. Not great. Not great, but good enough to bring in. So kind of a slow hand here on the draw against Through the Breach. Opponent's on a mull to 6. I'm a lot more likely to keep like a slow, reasonable hand on the draw if my opponent's mulliganed. Ranger-Captain is also very good in the matchup, and we can like maybe chain Ranger-Captains together with Mockingbird. This is also like part of your plan against Jeskai, which didn't quite come to fruition. But they did mulligan. They're playing a Misty Rainforest. There's an Amped Raptor. I'm going to end up surveilling on turn 1 rather than playing Mockingbird for 1. It's also good to copy Amped Raptor with Mockingbird, of course. The Graveyard of Mycospawn. Imprints a Worldbreaker. Rumble. They hit a Ring, a Worldbreaker, or a Kozilek's Command. And I guess I didn't say Talisman. That is the card they choose. It's kind of interesting. They probably already have another ring in their hand, I guess, if they're doing this. Seems like we should probably Amped Raptor and maybe try to hit Knight. This is not a bad pickup. It's actually pretty good if I go like Raptor this turn into like Raptor Guide of Souls next turn. So let's keep it. Or copy Raptor Guide of Souls, I should say. We hit a Ranger-Captain, which we unfortunately can't play. That's 2 energy for me, though. Okay, just casting Mycospawn's not too scary. Could also jump this Amped Raptor next turn. Kind of easy, I would imagine. Yep, seems like we are doing this. Maybe next turn I'll go with Ajani plus copy Ajani with Mockingbird for the Philadelphia with a red permanent. Okay, so we go up to 3 energy, then up to 5. Then we do hit the White Orchid Phantom. Kill this. Goodbye, Worldbreaker. Hello, basic land. Am I concerned about hitting Mockingbird Raptor? A little bit, but also I'm excited to copy it. I think like the synergy maybe negates the tension. Not exactly sure. I'm a little concerned, yeah. Okay, next turn though I can go Ajani, copy, 0, deal a ton of damage. I think 4 Mockingbird is the right number. I think it's correct. We just have like a million things that are great to copy in the stack, and a lot of them are 1 mana. So I think it's just good to have 4, so you can have like crazy starts where you have multiple Guide of Souls, Ocelot Prides. These are like the best starts in energy where you have like Guide of Souls into Pride, or you know Guide into Guide Pride. And this like lets you do that a lot more often, while it's also very good to... Wow, that was tough. There are a lot of other good lines, is what I was trying to say. So I guess now we spend some time rebuilding. Now, I don't think I'm going to sack this Ranger Captain quite yet, because I want to be able to potentially copy it next turn. And maybe not. Another White Orchid Phantom. So, a lot of options, obviously. I guess what I should do first, probably, because I'm going to go either Mockingbird, get a 1-drop, cast a 1-drop, or I'm going to go 2-drop, 2-drop. I'm basically never doing anything else. I guess I could go Mockingbird, copy, and then play this, copy this, and get a 1, and then play a 2. But I'm thinking I want to surveil. But I guess if I'm going to I need to think a bit more. I could also just go copy Pride, White Orchid, and Ajani. They probably have 3 basics in their deck. I do think that it's probably going to be correct for me to kill this right now, though. And if they don't get a basic, then we can copy the Phantom. Very weird. Weird turn. Now I need to think about sacking and upkeep. I think sacking and upkeep is okay against the Storm's Wrath through the Breach deck. Another copy of Ring, also pretty relevant to try to stop. So maybe they're going to Kozilek's Command on my turn. Going to combat. So I'm at the moment, my plan is to go with Ajani, Mockingbird, Ocelot Pride, make 1,000,000 tokens, sack Ranger Captain, their upkeep, and then after that, hope for the best. Pretty important part of this plan. Making a token here is probably worth, 2 more of these tokens, because I'm going to make a copy of the Mockingbird here. We'll see what happens with... Okay, they didn't... I get my copies, at least. Get a lot of tokens. I'm doing pretty good against through the Breach at this point. My opponent also just does not tap the ring. No non-creature spells for you. They didn't tap the ring. They like try to find a creature to play. Okay, no non-creatures, no rings, no Kozilek's Commands on your turn, no Storm's Wraths. Still did the Breach. Oh, I have no flying block. Oh no, sorry. This Ocelot Pride is flying on defense here. But they could breach in the upkeep in response to the Ranger Captain sack. That's true. But this is a flying Mockingbird. Ocelot Pride could block. So this is a... Do I get to copy this? I guess we probably won't find out. I don't think I get to copy this though. Why plus Ajani before Raptor there? It is better to plus the Ajani before my opponent remembers that they can tap the ring and kill the Ajani at instant speed with Galvanic Discharge. It is better to just make sure the plus happens before my opponent wakes up and does something when they have plenty of things they can do, at least with the ring. Much more relevant than maybe getting a counter on whenever we hit off the Pride. This hand is really crazy if it draws like a blue land. Should probably mulligan. But we are on the draw. Like we're favored to hit a land. Alright, keep. We'll put back the Pippin. Alright, who's favored in the energy matchup? Find out now. It's a card token of a token card. I see you. It would give Buster Intangible Virtue. It would not get copy because I didn't create it. I think that makes sense. Maybe not, though. If being a token, again, is not a copyable characteristic. Mockingbird, very good in the energy mirror, where they have a lot of stuff for us to copy. They have 3 cards left in their hand after this. They're playing an Ajani. So, on one side of the coin here, it's pretty important for me to kill this Guide of Souls before they can get it to 4 powered toughness. On the other side, and that would be me playing Phlage. On the other side of the coin, it would be really nice for me to play Ranger-Captain this turn. Get a Mockingbird, and I can go like Mockingbird Ajani next turn. Pretty close decision point. Let's go for the Phlage. Is this a new record? Only 14 cards in the deck, not printed at MH or on Universe Beyond set. It's definitely not a record, because we've definitely played energy with more Modern Horizons cards. Like Mockingbird is like pretty actively reducing the number. Like we've played Boros with like just Ranger-Captain over Fable. Every single card in the main deck is a MH card. I'm not sure about the sideboards. You gotta tap your amulet first. Not that it matters a lot. Okay. Energy players, what is going on with y'all, I guess? This is it is there has been a lot of just like not tapping amulet on your turns. And then just still not tapping it. Is this why people think amulet is bad? Is this why y'all think amulet is like not like a great card? Because I see a lot of people cutting it. I don't know. That's obviously not why, but maybe explain some things. I don't know. Why not tap in a turn? Yeah, they should have tapped main phase, but I do see a lot of people just not tapping amulet the turn they play it. It happens like a silly amount of the time. Where are they playing Boros Energy, not Mardu? Well, I mean, Blood Moon is pretty good reason to play Boros over Mardu. Okay, so I can block with my Ocelot Pride. I guess I can't do that. Oh, okay. Well, I literally can't now, but I wasn't really able to let them flip the Ajani with them having red permanents. I guess attack like this. And we'll just see if they let me flip the Ajani. If they let me flip the Ajani, which seems kind of unlikely, but if they do, then we can get Mockingbird copy Ragavan, so we can have a red permanent for our Ajani. But now, so 7, 8, 9. We're gonna have the City's Blessing. I'm getting Mockingbird either way, I suppose. Although, I guess I should have fetched first and then Mockingbird copied. I'll just grab the Ocelot Pride so that I have the second red source for the Phlage Escape. A little bit worried about my life total, though. Matthew, the 58 months, thank you so much. Happy 58 years. Appreciate you, all that. Yeah, I should have fetched first. I might chump block the cat with my Ocelot. We'll see what they do first. If a player has 2 Ajanis in play, can Legend be used to transform? Yes, it can. Okay, Amped Raptor, it'll get a damage off the amulet off this too. They hit a Ragavan, the worst hit by a lot. They should cast it because they get a damage and an energy for free off the Guide of Souls. And somehow I kind of figured that they wouldn't, because my opponent clearly does not know how to use Unstable Amulet very well, which is okay. We're all here to learn. Captain grab bird, then copy their Guide of Souls. Yeah, I think there's a good chance we're going to do that next turn and then gain 1,000,000 life off of these cat triggers. So they are putting counters on this cat. We need to block so we're not just dead too. Oh, sorry, I didn't take the Mockingbird line. Oh no. Yeah, punt's on my side too, of course. I forgot. I'm in 2, and I realized I need this double red. Okay, Static Prison is the last card. It's not a bolt, thankfully. They go after my Ajani, which is interesting. Then they tap the Aether, the amulet. Then they play the hub, which means I'm not getting my Ajani back on their turn. I draw an Arid Mesa, so I can escape Phlage. I guess I already could with the Ranger-Captain sack. Yeah, if I just had flying Mockingbird, this turn is so much easier. Messed up last turn. Okay, get Guide and gain a bunch of life. So the problem with getting Guide and gaining a bunch of life is we won't get to copy anything because we're not getting life first. So if I escape Phlage, I do get my token copies. I would target the Ajani, and then I'm dead to the Cat Warrior. Copy their Guide. I mean, it doesn't really matter, because if I get something with Ranger-Captain, it has to be a Mockingbird. And then I'm not going to get to really do anything with it. Captain for bird to copy guide. And if I captain for bird and then copy guide, chat, I'm just chumping with the bird. So let's maybe try to figure out a better line. Like, it would be better to copy Amped Raptor, and it would have flying, and I would get to cast something else. We did mess up the last turn when we didn't get the Mockingbird. It's got to be just Phlage. Well, I'm dead on board if I just Phlage, so it's probably not just Phlage. I think the line is Ranger-Captain for Mockingbird, copy Amped Raptor. And I can jump with the Amped Raptor because it'll have flying. Phlage, then attack with 1 Pride. Well, they have first strike to kill 1 Pride. So it also seems not correct. I guess I could attack with 2 and lose both of them. This seems like the best line by pretty clearly, maybe. Yeah, jump and check with Ocelot doesn't... I guess they both have first strike. Okay. We hit a Phlage. Found the best line. Amped Raptor. Still S tier, it seems. Yeah, sorry, I forgot my Pride has first strike. So maybe this is fine. I think this ended up working out the best. I think it was also probably the best. Now, how many relevant spells can we stop with Ranger-Captain? We can stop Static Prison, Unstable Amulet, Sorcery Speed, Bolt, or Discharge. Doesn't really feel like the Ranger-Captain is doing very much, so it's probably okay. And not being dead to Static Prison is probably good. Also not dead. I guess we're not dead to bolts because then we can still jump block with the Raptor too. So it stops a lot of their outs to kill me. Pride is first strike 2, just attack with 1, gain 1 life, and then 2 more with copied guide. Yeah. But if we do that, then it's not exactly amazing for us still. But yeah, I mean, it was probably better. Funny that they're casting the Ragavan now. Attack with 1 cat, copy guide was the safe line. Yeah, it wasn't even like really that good though, right? Because we wouldn't have needed to fetch. So we would be at 6, and then we still have to chump block this. So I think this is probably still the better line because we still are in chump block mode. But maybe I'm wrong. And we're not like throwing away a cat. Anyway, this game's like a lot easier if I just like fetch correctly and I can get Mockingbird. And I could just attack with Ocelot Pride and then get Guide of Souls, then gain so much life. So I definitely made this game way harder on myself than it needed to be. Did we have a Ajani Alpha if we didn't sack Ranger-Captain? No, we just got this Ajani back from their static prison. We didn't have the Ajani in play last turn. Delia 18 with my 2-mana Planeswalker 0. Okay. I'm saying, did we have a lethal attack if we didn't sack Ranger-Captain? Oh, wait, I see. Okay, so these kill the Sun Cleansers out of the board, so they're very important. We're also going to bring in the Unlicensed Hearse. My tentative plan in this matchup is to trim 1 Static Prison, cut the Teferi, and cut the Pippins for these. Other the Pippins are bad, but also no card here is bad, and we want these cards. This deck is almost MH3 cards only. What's funny is this deck used to be like MH3 cards only, and now we got Mockingbird, and now we're playing some Pippins. Try it out. I like Pippin. Pippin might not be right, but I do think it's very important that we test other blue cards in the deck besides Mockingbird, because I think Mockingbird is great. I think that game looks super important. It's almost like a mirror breaker card. Okay, definitely gonna lead on my own Guide of Souls, because if they kill it, I can just copy theirs. And then you do this, or I can go double Ocelot Pride next turn. And so like it might be like a mirror breaker type card, and then like very good with Ranger-Captain, which is already very good. But like, is there another blue card that's good to play? And that's something I'm not really sure. Wait, they left in Blood Moon against me? I guess that's fine. What am I going to do about it, though? I'm not sure. Like, do I Static Prison now? Let's not Static Prison now, since my opponent has no white mana themselves. I'm the one with white mana. Yeah, I consider Tamiyo. I don't think Tamiyo would be very good in this deck. You're not very good at flipping it. You don't want to sack it. You don't have a lot to return. But I do agree Tamiyo is kind of like the other good cheap blue creature. Okay. Take this head. What about Expressive Iteration? I don't think I would play Unstable Amulet over Expressive Iteration if I wanted a card like that, but it is a good suggestion, and I appreciate it, and I want to hear more blue options for sure. So copy the Amped Raptor, flying Amped Raptor, into another Amped Raptor. Definitely want to jump the Guide of Souls so it doesn't die to Bolt or Phlage. Weird game. So they spend an Aether Hub energy here, and then they undo because they realize they didn't need to do that. They're still tapping white, 1. Is this Wrath the Skies? Wow. Is this bad for me? I don't know. They don't have any white mana. I have white mana. I mean, I can't cast my Mockingbirds, but that's kind of it. I actually feel like that was just, like, maybe good for me. We'll see. We'll see. Very confusing. The Drake is also kind of good. So I have not liked the the Energy Drake as a main deck card. There is like that one synergy with the like card that returns a card, so you could try to play that. So whatever that card is called, Saving Grasp or something. I see a new hot combo deck I made up. We've played a deck very similar to this, pre-Eldrazi. The Curse Mirror is actually really cool though with Geological Appraiser. I forgot that we have one more Appraiser card that's really cool. We played a deck very similar to this and have not had real success with it. I wish you luck. Is Phlage good here? Interesting hand. You could play Counter Magic, but if you played Counter Magic, then you couldn't play Amped Raptor, which would make your Ajani's worse. And it could be fine to try to figure out how to play Counter Magic though. Mockingbird seems really bad with Amped Raptor. Well, it's really good to copy Amped Raptor. It's really bad to hit off Amped Raptor. It isn't like a complete brick like other cards are though, and I'm at the moment just kind of okay with it. But your assessment is valid. Having considered Pest Portal and the shifting Woodland deck to pitch to Lab, as well as turning Woodland into opponent's upkeep to lock them out. I guess I haven't really considered it. I kind of don't exactly know what Possessed Portal does. I know it's a card a lot of people love to talk about. Saving Grass kind of bad with Raptor. No, it's fine. You just bounce your own Raptor, and then you have the card in the graveyard. Yeah. Yeah, we were just talking about Storm Drake Saving Grass. Yeah, Doom, do you think that combo is good? I haven't been that into it, but maybe it's good. Against Mardu? Hopefully they play a Raptor. Or something good for me to copy. Well, I guess I'm good on Guide of Souls. Oh, okay. That's nice of that. Portal is the 8-mana card that stops the game. Yeah, I'm kind of like loosely aware. What the hell? Should I play another Guide of Souls? I get so much energy if I do. So I play this, I go up to 3 energy, then I tap this down to 3, and I can't double jump. I guess I should hold up the discharge. Or I should main phase the discharge so I can jump this Guide of Souls. I think I target their guide. Copy and kill Pride. I think it's better to kill the guide because I'm going to be pretty good at blocking their Pride here. I'm going to leave this back to block their Pride. And then I'm like in race mode, and racing is going to be way easier if I'm the one with 3 Guide of Souls and they have 0. But it's kind of close which one to kill. If you feel really strongly that was the wrong target, I'd love to hear about it. If you hit Mockingbird Raptor is the best line to save the 2 energy. No, a 1-mana 1/1 flyer is worth 1 energy. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. You'll hit it. You'll have 2 creatures for 2 mana. You'll be okay. So they are going to get to trigger their Ocelot Pride here. I guess they're going to kill mine. And then they have a fetch. They can escape Phlage next turn. There's our Pippin, so we guess that. They can't kill it with the Phlage next turn, which is nice. And I can get both of these out of Phlage range now. Flagman is a playable Magic card. 2024 Spine Spike. What? It is better to cast Flagman than to cast nothing at all. Is what I'm trying to say. Better to cast it than to do nothing. Is splashing for 2 Mockingbird just okay? Is going all in Mockingbird a good call? I'm at the moment very happy with Mockingbird as a 4 of. If you're going through the hoops of splashing it, you really want it. It's good to draw early. It's good to draw in multiples. You just have so many good things to copy. And a lot of your cards are really good in multiples. You don't have to play 4, but at the moment I think 4 is a good call. Okay, my opponent probably will target Pippin here. Probably, maybe not, but Kind of an easy mistake to make if they do. Yep, Ward 1, baby. So not only do they not get to kill my Pippin or gain life, they also don't get to trigger their Ocelot Pride. No respect for Pippi. So pretty close to killing my opponent. That is lethal, I think. Yeah, I consider Mariner over Pippin. I don't think Mariner's super good and doesn't really solve some problems, but it is pretty good, and you could play it in the spots. I agree. All right, so same sideboard plan. Don't think I'm going to click the mulligan button. Obviously, this hand needs to draw red mana sooner rather than later. I guess if it draws non-red mana, just casting Ranger-Captain will be fine. Consider any dress down over Pippin for the Phlage scam lines? Not really. Like dress down into Phlage is not that good, but I am definitely looking for other good cheap blue cards that are like good hits off Raptor, which is how we landed a Pippin. I don't think I would main deck dress down, but there could be like a right metagame to main deck dress down maybe. Not blue, but how about Selfless Spirit? Could be fine to play. Maybe more of a sideboard card. Maybe not. Well, that's the, we like to call the nuts, I guess. Taking 3. I believe in our ability to draw a red source. Next turn. But Pippin's just pretty good. Ward on a 2-drop that has like a lot of relevant text is just pretty exciting. So we're probably getting Obs, yeah. Guide into Raptor Ajani. Ob is pretty good on the play. And then they're also going to get to kill something with the Ajani. Even if I don't draw red mana, though, I can kill the Ajani with the Guide of Souls. I'm losing 2 life. Why Pippin over Giver Runes? The Giver is 1 mana and can be tutored with Ranger-Captain and does pretty much the same thing. I don't think it does pretty much the same thing. The fact that Pippin is like an attacker and the blocker while also doing the protection thing is nice. Ward 1 again is a crazy line of text, but to be kind of simply, we've already done this dialogue tree, but simply put, like Giver of Runes isn't an optimal card in this deck. I don't think that this is a very hot take, right? Like Giver of Runes just isn't a card I want to play in Energy in general. Like we already have Mockingbird, we don't want other 1-drops. I don't want Giver of Runes. What I do want to be testing is blue cards because the blue splash is really underexplored. And Pippin is like one of the only cheap blue cards I think is like, like pretty interesting. There are other ones that are somewhat interesting. I think I have to Amped Raptor here because I need to jump the Guide of Souls and kill the Ajani. I did draw red mana. How about Shredder? I mean, you'd have to play Bobble with Shredder, but I don't think it would be optimal. What problems am I trying to solve with Pippin? So this is kind of, I don't know if this is just the meme. What problems are you trying to solve? But like, not every card has to solve problems. Some cards can just be good, and I'm of the opinion that Pippin is good and underplayed, and that is, that is what we're trying to solve on this channel is playing good and underplayed cards. Dingo's playing expressive. Yeah, you can play expressive. Again, it's just like what blue cards like are playable, And Pippin is a card I like a lot. Pippin is great. It's 2 mana, 2/2 Ward 2 Vigilance, gives something protection. That is a really, really good 2-drop. I'm not sure that it's like definitely optimal, but the card is strong. Also, we might win this game despite my opponent curving out perfectly on the play. I'm going to discard the Phlage, I think. But it's like, you put, I don't know, Ocelot Pride. What problem are you trying to solve with this? You're not solving a problem. It's just good in the deck. So a land to go Ranger-Captain into like copy Guide of Souls could be good. Mockingbird also could be good here. Gotta pay an energy. So I think what we'll probably end up doing is go like Mockingbird copy. I guess copy Bowmasters gains me more life. So Mockingbird copy Bowmaster, gain 4 energy, 4 life. Galvanic Discharge the cat, gain 2 energy. So that's +6 up to 7, which is enough to double spend, and then also Static Prison. And then if I spend on both, I can not quite kill both obs, I guess. So maybe I should only kill one. Copy their Raptor. I think I want to copy the Bowmaster because I get 2 extra life and 2 extra energy for sure. If I hit a removal spell, I guess maybe copy Raptor is still better. Maybe it's still better. Yeah, we're just gonna leave one of these back now. Although maybe I should just discharge the other ob. What does this ob really do? It deals me 2 damage and then dies next turn. Deals me 2 damage and then dies. I guess that's not worth killing. Yeah, Mockingbird is really sick. Does Pippin have potential with Mox Amber decks? Yeah, sure. I mean, it's a cheap 2-mana legend, and Mox Amber decks are getting better. I like Pippin a lot. It's a card that I'm excited to play. Right, probably move on from the Pippin talk. All right, I'm not going to play around them having 2 bolts as 2 of their last 3 cards. Some number of Sentinel, go with Ranger-Captain of Mockingbird. Not real. So the card is not good with Ranger-Captain in this deck. Like, you are never going to get Esper Sentinel with Ranger-Captain over a Mockingbird, a Guide of Souls, or an Ocelot Pride. It's not going to happen. So it has actually, like... Ooh. It has like, no synergy. How funny is maybe how I would think about it. Or, like, little to no synergy. Weirdly enough. But yeah, it's like, I don't know. Maybe people have not tuned in for the Ranger-Captain streams, but it's like you just don't really need that in the deck, I would think. How are we like so stable when we like we're on the draw against them curving out so well? Maybe that's just a glowing review for this build. I don't know. I'm definitely gonna block with both of these. They have Goblin Bombardment, so just a mandatory block. So I get to kill their other ob. I will certainly be paying this energy. So let's kill the ob. Not going to spend energy to pump this Guide of Souls, I think. And then I'm pretty sure we're going to go Ranger-Captain for Mockingbird. Post Nadu, do you think Mono White Martyr can be in a good spot? Could. Yeah, could. I actually did consider Meddling Mage. I don't think Meddling Mage is very good at the moment, but I did think about it. Thought about sideboarding them too. I think there will be good metagames for Meddling Mage again, but there's just not a lot of Living In, not a lot of Titan. Do you want to get Guide in case they kill our Guide next turn? It's very tough for them to kill this. They have to have Fatal Push or Static Prison. And then we can still copy Ocelot Pride, which is maybe... I don't know if that's what we want to do. I guess what I want to do is See if they do have another 1-mana piece of interaction. Like, I'm just gonna cast these. Also nice to have Discharge up still. Nice to have Phlage in the yard. I'm gonna copy the Ocelot Pride despite it being kind of bad against the bombardment. What about Kitsa with Tune the Narrative? Tune isn't good, I think. Kitsa is fine. It doesn't really have a lot of synergies in this deck that you would want to have with Kitsa, so you would want to play Mox Amber, Flame of Venor, good instants and sorceries to copy, non-creatures to trigger prowess. Like, this deck just doesn't have that, so Kitsa doesn't seem that good. So that go to 7 or 8 to 9 permanents, so no City's Blessing. I kind of can't believe we were like so ahead here when my opponent went Guide of Souls into Raptor, Ajani into Ob, flip Ajani, and kill something of mine with the Ajani flip. Let's get a 4-1 prediction going. Process. Okay, we're on the play. Let's keep. I'm gonna shock at the Sacred Foundry. A 4-color version of blue and black. Probably too hard to cast Phlage. I agree Psychic Frog is good. Is this Jeskai again? Yeah, I have a White Orchid Phantom instead of Moons or anything else. I think the Phantoms they're also good with Mockingbird. I think it's better than Consign in this deck. It's better with Mockingbird, better with Raptor. Harder to hold up mana to him. Only 2 hearses, maybe a little low. I think I'm gonna plus Teferi here. Maybe missing Unstable Amulet? I don't think so. Amulet's fine. It's like not mandatory. And like Ranger-Captain Mockingbird gives you a lot of mana sinks, so I feel like you need that kind of effect less. Alright, get flared, nerd, I guess. I did look at Scheming Fence, not very main deckable. So this is actually a pretty fun situation that comes up sometimes where you Galvanic Discharge the frog, and then your opponent, they discard cards to grow the frog outside of Galvanic Discharge range, and then you just Static Prison it. Well, it seems like here they're going to Ephemerate. So I go Static Prison up to 3 energy, Guide of Souls up to 4, Guide of Souls down to 3. I guess that's fine. We'll just let this happen. Did I shelve the Blue White Port Mage list? I mostly just didn't like Port Mage that much in the deck. I thought it was okay, and kind of ultimately not that good in the deck. And I think I want to play Port Mage with Satoro and maybe Norn the Wary and just try to like be that kind of deck instead. I don't think the list was bad, but I think that this build is just probably better. Okay, so they got 2 cards in their hand. So we will spend an energy, get an energy, get 2 more energy. This time targeting my opponent's face though. And I should be able to Galvanic Discharge this frog. I guess they could have another Ephemerate. But also, I could just fly something. Yeah. Okay. Up a game against Goryo's is nice. That's not always going to happen. So if I bring in Deafening Silence, my opponent can't Goryo's Atraxa and Ephemerate Atraxa. It's probably just like a good enough reason, right? I like Flaging the Frog, then you can discharge the rest of anything. Seems really incorrect, because I just have lethal on board that can ignore Frog. I guess I don't want to not have this Teferi. Instead of Goryo's and tap Ephemerate. Right. So maybe we'll just play 2. Play the first discharge. Wait. Oh yeah, Wrath the Skies also. Yeah, maybe the card's just bad. Wrath the Skies is just like such a tough card to play against. I don't know, maybe Selfless Spirit or something adjacent to Selfless Spirit like Boromir could be a good card to include. Last match in Auto Wizards video is cut off. We didn't notice it. I have an editor that does the YouTube uploads. I'm sure if there are comments there, he's seen it, but thank you for bringing that to my attention. Okay, pending. Warmer seems worse with Raptor. You're just good enough at like having 3 energy on turn 2, but it is a little bit worse with Raptor. All right, pretty good. Why are they main phasing this? I guess they're just missing lands. They discarded Goryo's. Can't be that bad for me. So I think to play around Wrath the Skies a little bit better, I'm going to Ranger-Captain here. So if they Wrath the Skies, they don't get to kill my Ranger-Captain. I can also maybe just like copy Ranger-Captain, sack every single turn. Sun Cleanser, best card against Wrath the Skies. Yeah, we should make room for Sun Cleansers. Sideboard is just obviously very taxed. We could just be like, this is Magic Online Leagues and just not play these Harsh Mentors right now, which is probably fine. Mockingbird is really, really crazy in this deck. What's so funny is Mockingbird would have like probably just not been a good card pre-Image 3. And just kind of all of a sudden is pretty dang relevant. Yeah, this loop is really, really good, I think. And this loop also does help you against Wrath the Skies and Ring, which is, you know, something that, of course, they pitched the 3rd Choreos. Something that you could struggle with. Okay, so let's 4-1 that league. Only lost 1 or we didn't lose a single game besides the match we lost. Probably not a good way to put that. But I'm down to try Royal Cartographer. It's a card that I really have wanted to play with, and this is the best looking.